What's the hardest set you've ever done in a practice?
Holy cow.
All right, welcome to this episode of Social Kick. I'm John Mullen. We got a partial crew here. Brian Lundquist is in Atlanta visiting family. I think he's on another red eye, 2 red eyes in 1 week. Who does that to themselves? We got Luke Paddington here, and then we have breakout breaststroker from the Pacific Northwest, Mr. Campbell McKean. How you doing, Campbell?
What's up, guys? I'm doing good.
Good.
All right. Well, we're going to start with some audience questions. So if you ever have any questions, submit them at Social Kick Swim. Also, don't forget to give us some reviews online. We don't ask for this much, but give us some good reviews online here so we can get this out to everyone more. So, all right. First question comes from Diego Hodge. He wants to know, what's your favorite pool in Oregon to race in besides your home pool?
I think it's an easy answer. Mount Hood Community College. It's an outdoor long course pool, and it's great.
When do outdoor pools open up for you guys out there? Because I'm in the Seattle area, and summer isn't till June 23rd. Now, some pools are open, but it's not for a little bit longer till the schedule changes.
Yeah, I think most are around middle May, beginning of June.
Yeah, okay. Nice. Excellent. All right, next question from Tegan Dean. Favorite song?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Tame Impala. So I don't think I could name a song by them that's my favorite, but they're really good.
It's all right. Luke will name them all for you.
Exactly. Give me 5 minutes.
All right. Now this next one, hopefully you know this character. So the one is from Zeke Bronson 1335. The other one's from Malignant Mist 11, and they want to know, is Zeke good at Fortnite?
I'd say he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a big Fortnite player?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Nice. Who is Zeke Bronson?
He's my teammate.
Somebody asked, do you know Zeke Bronson? Okay, cool. What does he swim?
I'm pretty sure he's a flyer.
Okay, good. So not a breaststroker. Well, we got one more question for you from Julian Carlson. Probably know that Julian as well. The question is, how much aura do I gain if I make the world's team twice, become a world junior record holder, and I skip my grad?
I think that might be a plus 1,000.
Dang right, man! Congratulations. That's pretty legit.
Thank
So congratulations on fantastic swim. Those who are listening who may have missed out, Campbell won both of the sprint breaststrokes. Really tight races, dropping PBs left, right, and center. And all 3 breaststrokes he did PBs in, right?
Yeah.
Became the fastest ever 18 and unders from an all-time 100 breaststroke. Nobody's gone under 59. You decided to do that, and I remember when I was trying to break a minute and 100 free, and I went straight to 58. And I remember, wow, that was really cool. But you just did that in breaststroke. That's incredible. Talk to me about what was the highlight of last week's U.S. Nationals, Campbell? What was to you the bit you enjoyed the most?
I guess the feeling just after winning that 50 breast was like no other. Racing against the older veterans was super fun. I mean, the nerves were there, but it was super fun to race a 50 at a big meet and be tapered for it. But yeah.
Yeah, in that race, you won by a couple hundredths. And I don't know if I've ever seen someone jerk their head so quick to look at the scoreboard in my life. You touched that wall, we're like, boom. So did you know you had it won, or it was so close that you really didn't know till you saw that board?
I had a feeling because I knew my touch was pretty long.
Long. Yep.
Like in the past, I've had short finishes, and that's always screwed me over. So having that long finish, and then the one you didn't know if that actually helped me looking at the board really fast. I just kind of instinct just to see if I won. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Luke, I got something to say about you, Luke. You said 100 breast is a sprint event, or both sprints. Now that we have the 50, 100, and 200, is 100 now middle distance breast?
Isn't 100 a sprint, Campbell? Would you say 100 a sprint?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, you definitely have to lengthen out maybe the first 50, but you still have to go pretty fast.
I don't know. I'm gonna ask Cam McAvoy on this one. I'll see what he says about the 100. If he thinks that's middle, he might call that distance. Actually, he's like, oh, there's breathing involved. Bruno Fradas would probably say send that to open water, 100s and longer, right?
Yeah.
So how that 50 win, how that sets you up for your 100? You just a PB. You just beat some legends of the sport, like you said. You made your first team. Did you feel a weight relief, and how did that help your 100 swim? Did you think it was a big factor?
Yeah,
Sure.
I thought it was really good to set me up for the 100. Based on my Fort Lauderdale swims, like I know I needed to be out 27 to have a good 100.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously my morning swim for the 100 wasn't out what I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of still feeling it out, but I think that 50 really set me up for the night swim for the 100.
100%.
Yeah, back to the 50. We did another question from Noah_KTZ who wants to know what your strategy was in the 50. And I think a lot of people are curious with the 50s of strokes being new events. And I assume you haven't had too many 50 long courses tapered in your life. Like, What is that strategy or plan going into it? Or is it just, all right, rev that engine and let's roll?
And before you start, I have to swim a 50 breaststroke in a couple weeks' time in Singapore at World Masters. I'm so worried I'm going to get damaged. I keep thinking, Lily King, what? Tell me. I'm taking advice.
I was going to say over a minute, Campbell, on Luke's 50 breaststroke.
Over a minute, dude. Over a minute.
I hope it's under.
I hope so too, but we'll see.
Come on, he's got his Finese tech suit. I'll go under a minute. I got you there, Luke.
Yeah, so I guess for the 50, it's just all out sprint. I mean, there's not really much you can do about it. Can't rush the pull out too much because then that's probably the fastest part of your race from the dive. Just swim as fast as you can, but you got to stay big, keep that power.
Yeah, I do think that's a key point, the not rushing the pull out, right? And I think a lot of people will do that, even in like sprint butterfly. I know I would like shorten my dolphin kicks maybe too much and rush them. So do you just like have that by feel, or are you counting seconds, or how are you making sure you aren't being, hurrying it too much in that pull out for your 50 breast?
I definitely don't count. It's more about feel. Like before I'll like do dive like to 15 and time that, but it's definitely more feel than counting.
I know Lily King said to us once, the 50 breaststroke is like running all out on a balance beam. So like you got to be really careful, but still you're going all out. And you just mentioned stay big. Explain stay big, and do you try to also stay long as well? Because it's really hard to maintain your stroke length yet maintain your tempo. What are you doing to maintain your catch, your stroke length, and stay big? Explain that a bit more.
I mean, just staying big in my mind is still hitting that line, but also when you pull, you gotta keep that wide press and not like slip any water.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
You do you feel pain in the 50 breaststroke?
Honestly, I don't remember any pain last week in the 50. Maybe I did, because I think I felt myself shortening up towards the end.
Right.
But I think there's little pain.
Little pain. That's nice.
I think the only pain was that neck jerk, man. I was worried you're gonna hurt your neck looking at that scoreboard so quick. But going into the meet, I mean, did you think you could win that 50 breast and the 100, or where were you at coming into the meet mindset, and as far as making the world's team and competing on that stage?
Yeah. My mindset going in was more of just that I have a chance that I could make the team. Definitely not guaranteed that, and I still got to try, I guess. Yeah, I didn't know I was going to win like either of them. Definitely not the 50 because it's so short, and I know Michael's very good at the 50s. Yeah. I surprised myself in both.
Yeah, you mentioned Michael. I guess you broke his NAG records. He's the American record holder in the 100. Any words exchange or any interactions with him? And did you look up to him as a breaststroker kind of growing up?
Yeah, we exchanged words on the podium, like after the medal ceremony. He mentioned he was excited to race more in Singapore and breaststroke events. And then on the morning of the 100 breast, he asked if I got much sleep that night because he knew it was exciting, I'm sure. Yeah, he's super nice. I didn't watch him much growing up, I'd say.
What was good about your 100 breaststroke? Like I don't want to ask like what can you work on to get faster. I want to ask you, what did you really execute well, and you're gonna keep doing that in your 100 breasts? What are you happy with?
What I thought I did well at night, because I adjusted from the morning, was keeping that rate up on the first 50, but staying light and not pushing it too much. And then I thought my power and bringing it back on the second 50 is really good. Yeah, for me.
You definitely came home. So I wanted to get into some of your training. So talk to us about your training. What kind of program do you guys follow? Do you lift a lot? Do you swim a lot? Is it a lot of quality? What's the overall idea of what you've been doing for the last, say, 6 months?
It's about swimming wise. We got afternoon, like 2 hours on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
And then we lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and swim Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, and Saturday morning. So we have a triple on that Wednesday, which was pretty rough. Not that rough. Yeah. Now, but starting out, it was hard getting used to. And we just switched to our summer schedule today, so I'll have to get used to that.
How are you juggling that being a senior? That's a lot of work. And how exhausting are you? How do you get your homework done? I have a 15-year-old. He's up until midnight doing homework all the time, and he's in track. How are you handling and juggling that, dude?
Honestly, I don't think my school gives out enough homework. Unless I was just a really good student that I got it all done at school. But I don't think they set me up very well for college homework wise. But
yeah.
Plus being a senior, I had more open classes, open periods that I could just like after practice. I didn't have to go to school till 10 o'clock. So I'd get done at practice at 8 and just have 2 hours to do rest and take a nap, eat, whatever I want. And then I have like a free period at the end that I could rest again before practice.
And are you is it like a distance program? Is it this quality? Are you doing a lot of breaststroke because you're at IMA? Are you just mixing all the strokes up? Like what group are you in, and what kind of program are you following? Do you know?
I kind of do everything.
Yeah.
Most for the past 6 months, or since I got my new coach in September, I think from what I remember, we do aerobic Mondays. There's like hundreds pink and red and 200s.
Yeah.
Or Tuesday morning would be IM prep. For like the past 6 months, it'd be like long course IM prep in the morning, and then it'll be short course at night. Would be like IM set. Wednesday night was always recovery, which was super nice. And then, going like a month and a half out from nationals. I did a breaststroke set every Thursday morning, which is super nice. Got me ready.
That's fun.
Yeah. What was that set?
I'd start with it changed. The amount of 50s every week changed, but it was like 650 skull pull, and then I had 4 efforts with bungees or cords on the block.
Yeah.
It was like odds were build the tempo and evens were 1.2 tempo of just pulling. And then I do 850s at 2.1 tempo on the minute. And then I do like 850s kick with a breaststroke kick with a snorkel, and then do 4 efforts with the cords, build the tempo on odds, and then 1.2 tempo on evens. Nice. And then I do 650s at 1.8 tempo on the minute breaststroke. Wow. And then it's like a 300 easy, and then I'll do 4 efforts swimming, build a tempo on odds, and then evens 1.2 tempo. And then it changed every week on these. It was like sometimes it was 250s at 1.2 tempo, or it was like 450s and evens, or odds were easy and evens were fast. But I felt like got me good with the tempo for all breaststroke events, 50, 100.
Interesting. He's focused on tempo, John. He knows it so well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was the tempo work, something that your coach Jim Nickel kind of came up, or did you get some of that stuff from the USA Olympic Training Center? And I guess, how did you guys come up that, all right, this is the tempos we want to start dialing in for different distances?
I'd say my coach Jim
Yeah.
Just came to me with that. He had the tempos all set. He felt like he's really good with that math stuff to calculate what tempo I need and stroke count to do it. But yeah, I felt really good about it.
Gotcha. You mentioned doing chord work to work on that tempo. Now, Destro Machines gave us a Destro machine, and I was doing some, 200-pound sums yesterday that wrecked me. Do you guys do any resistance swimming, or is it most of it assistance work?
Most of it's resistance with the chords. We have a Destro machine, but I haven't used it since like last year.
Okay.
But I think, I use buckets at the USOPTC, but other than that, I just use chords, and we don't do assistance with the chords. We only do.
It's resistance.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I would suspect I would prefer to do breaststroke resistance with a machine like, the buckets, the Destro, as opposed to the chords, because I wouldn't get that. Well, I don't know. I guess the chords keeps you honest about where you're slipping or where your timing's off. What do you prefer for your timing, to know where you might be losing your power and you're coming back a bit? Which one do you prefer?
I prefer the chords, definitely. I feel like the Destro machine or buckets, it's like consistent weight or resistance the whole time, which I don't mind, but I'd rather the chords be getting harder the farther I go with the fatigue.
I see that. Michael Andrew posted a video a couple of weeks out showing him dive at like a 27.2 in practice, right? And he's like, he showed that he was on. So when he went 27.1 and then 26.9, his times in practice was, it seems like, we didn't speak to him, we just from his Instagram.
Yeah.
We're pointing towards those sort of like range. Did you show like that sort of like pacing? Did you do some broken hundreds? Did you do some splits that you like, 58 probably wasn't as much as a surprise as everybody else thought it was, because you and your coach were expecting something similar?
Yeah. I did a broken 100 the Saturday before Nationals. I think I was like 28.6 from a dive, and then I was like 31.7 from a turn.
Solid.
So it was like around 59 high. So honestly, at 58 wasn't really in the sight, but my coach thought it was. So I don't know.
We had another audience question I thought was interesting. It's from Alex_Z.028. And you can take this, everyone. It said, what does a breaststroke set look like to you?
Ooh, I've really thought about that.
I know. I was like, I guess everyone kind of has their own maybe ideal set or thing. So I don't know. What is it to you?
I guess the breaststroke set that I mentioned earlier is the only other thing I really have in mind. Everything's like with IM, and that's like 2 years ago, I used to do IM sets where the main focus was breaststroke. Like we do 125 IMs, and we do a 50 breaststroke every time instead of a 50 of any other stroke.
So what is life like? Oh, go ahead, John.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna talk about your hip position, because we also had some people are really studying your hip position, and they feel like your hips are a lot higher in the water than some of the other swimmers. So is that something that you consciously work on, or you think that's something that just comes naturally to you?
I think it's a little bit of both. Back when Megan Oestian was my coach, when we do breaststroke kick, she told us to kick downwards. So our hips would get back up when we finished the kick. So I did that a while ago, and then I feel like I just kept doing that, and that helped.
Absolutely. I need all the help I can get. I'm doing that right now. I was going to ask you, Campbell, so now, what are you up to now? Like, what's the plan? When you're taking off? When's your staging camp? Where you guys up to? What's your work looking like right now? Because you are 6 weeks out, 4 weeks out, maybe 5 weeks out.
I think we're 5 weeks out from training camp.
Okay.
So I'm staying in town, just training. There was an option to go to the training center in Colorado, but I decided to stay home because I feel like I'm good at a decent elevation in Oregon. But we have training camp in Thailand, July 13th to 23rd, I think. And then we'll go to Singapore and start racing. What's
the one thing that's happened to you since you qualified for your first senior team that you didn't expect? I didn't expect I'll get this. I didn't expect I'll do that. And that was cool, maybe.
Ooh.
Get on this podcast, obviously, Luke. Yeah. Come on, man.
I never thought I'd be on the podcast.
Done.
Just a lot of people reaching out to me. I don't know. I guess.
Yeah.
Anyone reach out that impressed you or surprised you?
Not really. I mean, everyone on the team is following me on Instagram, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, Michael's been super nice, and that's the only guy I've really talked to on the team. But yeah.
Well, you got your blue check mark on Instagram yet?
No, not yet. Still waiting for that.
I like how Australia, they give you a number when you've made a senior national team in Australia. The US needs to get something like that.
Yeah. They give you a number in Australia?
Yeah. You're given a number, and it goes back to whoever the first Australian national swimmer was, and goes right up to now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 800 something. I don't know. I think it is cool, but I'm like, man, I don't know. I think maybe they need to restart or have something, a little change or something. I don't know. I do think that's a cool tradition. I'm trying to think of what USA Swimming could do. I mean, I remember when the Olympics were held at IUPUI way back when. I think I went and watched trials in '96, and every Olympian wrote their name on the wall. I think they're still there.
Yeah.
And that was a cool tradition, just seeing all the athletes write their name on the wall. So I don't know. I would love to see something like that, but then it needs to be a swim nauditorium and be there every year and be consistent.
Yeah. I mean, last year at trials, they had that like picture that everyone had to sign.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
What do they do in Trinidad, Luke? They put you in a soca music video, or you do a dance line or something?
If we win a medal, we get a statue, and you get like a free apartment and stuff. But you can get all kinds of stuff. So yeah, but we don't.
You get a statue,
like in town.
Yeah, if you get a medal, you get a
automatic. You get a statue if you get a medal. That's just a rule.
We took our college team to Trinidad once for training camp, and we convinced them that they had statues of me and my brother there. And because we knew there was a statue outside the pool, but of a famous singer, wasn't us. But we're like, that's our statue over there. And they all ran over to take pictures.
This makes me think of the Dwayne Wade statue where it was like this horrible rendition of what he looked like, right? Imagine being a statue and them just butchering your face, or you're like, God, that's what I look like?
I couldn't imagine that.
Can I get a redo on this? What the hell?
Zero aura. All right, let's talk worlds. Who are you looking forward to racing that have you that on a world stage that you've looked up to, or you're just looking forward to being in the pool next to them? Who's out there that you're looking forward to? See.
I don't even know. I mean,
I was gonna ask, do you even know who world breaststrokers are? Like,
I know Ken and Nicolo, but I think that's about it.
All right. Well, I mean, the world record holder and the Olympic champion, that's pretty good to know.
Yeah. I mean, I know Adam, but like he's not racing, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, what comes to mind when I say, or if people have probably already told you that your time was faster than one gold medal at the Olympics in the 100 breast?
Yeah, well, first thing that comes to my mind is that they had to swim 3 times and I only had to swim twice. But then I also think that I also had the 250 before. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Still though, it's got to be a cool thing to think like, okay, hey, I mean, obviously you dropped a ton of, you skipped 59 completely to go to a 58, so that had to be a good feeling. But then just knowing that must build some more confidence. Like, okay, I'm at this stage. I'm right there with the big boys.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way, but I feel like since I'm so young, I feel like a little bit of imposter syndrome that like there's no way I should be here, but I went fast enough. I'm kind of scared that I won't be close to that time, but I think there's a chance I will be.
Campbell, describe your swimming journey. When did you get into swimming? When did you take it seriously? Have you been on a lot of meets and travel a lot? Just describe, is swimming your life, or swimming is just, I look good when I train? Like, describe your swimming journey now. When it has been.
Yeah, I started swimming when I was like 6. Both my parents swam at U of A. Yeah. So, and both my older brothers swam. So I just got put in because they said I could try it. So I've been swimming ever since. I haven't taken any breaks.
Okay, wow.
I'd say swimming's basically my life. I haven't really done anything. I tried playing soccer in elementary school, but which I enjoyed, but I think I followed swimming way more and enjoyed it more. It's been pretty progressive journey.
Yeah.
Nothing complicated.
Usual.
Yeah. Little coaching problems.
Oh, yeah.
Little coaching problems during COVID, but that's the usual.
Yeah. I want to go back to the family. What type of bragging rights do you have in the family now? Like you said, a lot of swimmers in your family, but now you're on the national team. It must give you some little bragging rights.
A little bit. My mom swam in the 92 and 96 trials.
Yeah.
I think she's like 8th in the 100 breast. So I was kind of following her path. But I think I've exceeded that a little more. But I think that's the only bragging rights I have, is just best swimmer of the family.
Hey, a breaststroke is born or made?
With the way breaststroke kick is, I think they're more born. You can't really figure it out if you're not flexible.
Did
Luke and I agree.
Yeah, we agree fully. We there's swimming and there's breaststroke. I'm not saying swimming is not breaststroke. It's just it develops its own like book.
It's so complicated.
So complicated. But you're going off to one of the greatest coaches of all time at Texas. We have a fantastic program. Congrats on that, on committing there. And what are you looking forward to about that as well? I mean, so much things obviously, but what's one thing that like I'm really looking forward to experience X?
I'm really looking forward to experiencing the atmosphere of training with people that are faster than you. Being in the Pacific Northwest and not very many people that swim. Yeah. I've always been at the top of my groups, and I feel like I'm always racing the clock, or if I'm doing since I'm not a distance swimmer, I can race the distance swimmers when we're doing a freestyle set, but doing breaststroke, I'm always racing the clock. So I think at Texas, I'll be able to race people that are faster than me and experience that.
100%.
Yeah. Just to clarify, you kind of did it there, but next year going to Texas to swim with Bob Bowman and the Longhorns there. Of that whole crew, who are you most excited to race in practice?
QB coach in breaststroke. No.
No, I need to work on my backstroke, so maybe racing him on backstroke would be helpful.
Good luck with that.
While he's doing backstroke or breaststroke.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
Nate.
Nate, come on to me.
Yeah. Will Schultz. Those will all be good training buddies with breaststroke. I think Leon for the 200 breaststroke focus, and I am. So I think that'd be good.
We had the opportunity to talk to Bob for a while, and I was always intimidated by Bob Bowman because all the work and how hard he must be. But we really enjoyed his work. We really enjoyed spending time with him. We could see how caring he is and a father figure as well. And I think anybody who goes under Bob Bowman is going to excel for different reasons, with the hard work and where he stands with his philosophy and his attitude towards swimming and was working hard and just keep working. What's the one thing you're looking forward with Bob that you've heard of? Or have you met him? What's your first impression? What's your impression of Bob when you met him?
Yeah, I thought he was great. On my visit, he was awesome. He was funny. Yeah, which I was not expecting.
Really funny.
Because you only see him on the pool deck, so he's always serious on pool deck.
Yeah.
But when you meet him in person, he's super funny. And I can't wait to have him coach me. But I've always been scared of like the sets that he'll post or his swimmers will post. I'm just like looking at those death sets. But I think it'll be good to get used to them pretty fast.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. 2 of the negatives I've heard about Bob, so you can prepare yourself. Okay. Maybe you can give me your thoughts on this. Number 1.
Yeah.
Herbie told us they listened to classical music on the way to finals. What do you think about that?
Honestly, I wouldn't mind that. I have a couple classical songs in my liked songs on Spotify, but I don't listen to them often, but they're there.
Yeah, they're low on the list, but it's not a complete no-go. All right. Next is the social kick issue. Oh. Now, we've got him to do, 2 social kicks in practice? Maybe 1? So I don't know. What are your views there?
We never social kick either.
Oh my God. Well, maybe you and Bob are two peas in a pod. Jeez.
I mean, last year with my interim coach, we did social kick like almost every day. I didn't mind it, but most of the time I would just kick by myself either way, just because I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's breaststroke, right? Can breaststroke social kick?
Yeah, but when you're like 3 o'clock crossing a lane where your legs get tangled.
Yeah, you're kicking each other. That's why I don't think breaststrokers really can social kick. That's why breaststrokers are weirder than distance swimmers. You can't even social kick.
I know.
That's why
can't even keep up.
Shimanovic, that's why he has a narrow kick, Shimanovic, so that he can breast social kick. So obviously that's why.
I didn't think about that.
I have a question for you. So we spoke to Alex Shackle after she won all those goals in Paris, and you're like, what was it like going back to school? Does anybody even know who you are? And like when you go back to your high school, did people were they aware of what you had achieved, what you had done?
Yeah, teachers and students roughly knew where I was, like before going to nationals. Like, over the past 4 years going through high school, they knew I was a swimmer and I'd miss a bunch of school. But then coming back, since I already graduated, I didn't have school, so I picked up my diploma, and then like 2 days later, they're like, "Okay, we're having a whole assembly for you." So I showed up, and they handed me a diploma in front of everyone, and they recognized me in front of the whole school. So that was really nice.
When at my son's high school, when they're like they have a couple of swimmers to go off to states, and they treat it as the biggest thing in the world, and it's like Division C, Section 12, you know what I mean? Like it's a different level. Do they realize what you've achieved? That you are the fastest swimmer ever to swim 100 breaststroke, 18 years and ever in the history of the world? Like, do they realize where you're at and what you can achieve? What's the pressure? And like, or they say, "Oh, state champ," or like, do they realize how fast swimming is, or they still don't get swimming?
I can't even tell if they understand swimming or not, because like they've recognized me at like the signing party for college after high school state, and they've recognized me there, but like I don't really know if they understand what I did or not.
In a way, that's okay sometimes, right? That's nice actually, under the radar. It's like,
I think if I make the Olympics, they'll understand where I am, but that's more notable. But
no, I hear it from a lot of people, like, you know, especially in high school. In my high school, no one knew about swimming, right? They knew it was good, but they didn't know anything. So do you ever get any silly comments from classmates like, "Oh, do you do the frog stroke one?" Or, "Hey, what's Michael Phelps like?" Any like questions like that you're just like, man, they have no idea.
They're like, "Are you the next Michael Phelps?" And they're like, you wear a Speedo? And that's about it.
You shave down? Wow.
Yeah.
Come on, you're not a practice jammer guy?
No. You're not even a swimmer. I don't think you're a swimmer if you practice the jammer. If you're like over 13.
All right. 13's the cutoff?
I think so.
I have a suit for Worlds, for my World Masters games, and it's for the 50 freestyle, and I got some breaststroke, like I said, and I'm worried that the suit's not the best suit. What do you like in having a suit, a tech suit for breaststroke? What's specific for you for your breaststroke in your tech suit?
I don't really have any specifics.
Really?
I've always worn the Arena Carbon Core FX,
right? Yeah,
which they just discontinued, so I got to switch to the Primo.
Yeah.
But the Carbon Core just I think it has the tightest compression that Arena had. Yeah. So I like that. I always wore that. I've tried the Glide, but that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think I tried what was the other one? I don't know. I remember the other one, but I haven't swam with the Primo yet. So I think I'm getting that for Worlds. So I might have to do a practice swim with that.
All right. Well, we need some advice. So Luke and I were talking about, because we haven't put on a tech suit in over a decade, either of us, and we recently got some. And I'm like, do I want it like the old school paper suits that like cut off my circulation? Or do I want it a little loose where, you know, I can have it on for an hour or two and don't feel like I'm going to rip it off my skin? So do you like it super tight or a little loose, or what type of,
especially like hair,
I guess, compression
at the bottom
on the thighs? Yeah.
Mine's a little in between. I think so. I decided.
So it's like finding that the middle ground, right? Or finding what's just not too bad. Okay.
like last year at Pan Packs, like every suit I wore was I had blisters on my fingers because it was so tight, and I was like, oh, I should probably size up, and then I sized up and I was perfectly fine and got in in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I put mine on last week and it was, one of those blazing Pacific Northwest days, like 70 degrees. And I was like sweating, putting it on at the end of it. And my I'm not shaved down in forever. So it's so itchy because all my hair is poking through. I'm like, oh my God, this is an experience I honestly don't miss.
Yeah. Like those meets at Southern California, like Futures.
Yeah.
The locker rooms get so hot. It's almost even, you gotta it's hard to stay dry and put the suit on because you're sweating so much.
Just lubricant just slides on then, right? Like that.
I've actually never used that, but I've seen people use it.
No way that happens.
Yeah. I think Speedo makes a spray or something.
All right.
Yeah. I think there's different products for it now. So, all right. So that's with the suit. We talked about resistance swimming and things. Do you guys use any other tools or toys in practice much? I know like breaststroke fins were popular at one point, but what else do you guys use during your training that you find helpful for your breaststroke?
Oh, I don't really use anything like out of the ordinary for breaststroke.
Yeah.
The only thing that stood out for me, like not aside from breaststroke, is we use like band, buoy, paddles and snorkel for pulling, and then when we're long course we use band, buoy, board, snorkel, paddles.
Do you have a favorite breaststroke drill that you think helps you most find line and get you dialed in?
I do 3 kick 1 pull and 3 pull 1 kick a lot. I know at training center before Pro Series, I was talking to Brendan Hansen, and he said he liked those drills a lot because they help you get in the line and get that kick down.
Totally. There's a question from the audience from who's this from? METTR55. How does he stay so consistent? What do you think? What does she mean by that? How do you stay consistent? Is that because you keep dropping or you get fast across the board? What do you think she means by how do you stay so consistent?
I'm guessing she means that I keep dropping and that I'm able to stay roughly around my times in season. I don't know.
Is that true? Has it been a hallmark? Do you keep dropping? Have you been dropping? I mean, you were 101 last year at trials, and then 005 earlier this year, and now 58. Has that been a hallmark of your career?
I'd say so. I progress pretty often, depending on the event. I mean, last year I was like what you said, 101 at trials, but I was also like 101 at Pan Packs.
That's right. Okay.
Short course wise, I dropped a bunch of time at West Juniors, and then like 4 months later at sectionals, I was able to drop again in some things or stay right around those times, which was a surprise to me because at that sectionals I wasn't fully tapered either. So
right, yeah.
So you mentioned Brandon Hansen, who's the national junior team director, and obviously a historic breaststroker for the U.S. Did you give him a little bit of a hard time since you're faster than him now? I think 59.1 was his best time. So
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that was his best time. I know before the race I was like, were you able to watch my morning race? What should I do differently? I was trying to get some pointers from him. I talked to him after the race, and he said it looked really good, and he was really happy, I guess. I don't know.
He must be so happy.
He should be happy.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a Texas Longhorn. He must be very happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I tell you.
Yeah. At training center, we had a fast Friday, and I did 100 rests there and went around. I was like 009. And he was super happy because I think he knew that I could break a minute, but he didn't know. He knew it was coming.
How good are you at yards? What do you think? If you were to like swim yards last week, what do you think you may have gone? Wait, are you good at turns and pullouts?
I feel like my turns may need a little work. My pullouts are definitely a strong suit since I'm a bigger guy. That's why my turns are a little slower because I'm too big. Not too big, but a little bigger than most.
I was going to ask, how big are you? How tall are you? How much do you weigh? How big are your feet?
I'm 6'4". I think I'm 195. I haven't really weighed myself in a while, but I wear a size 12, so
size 12,
roughly proportionate.
What's your box jump? I mean, it seems like the combine here, but are you pretty athletic?
I don't actually haven't box jumped in a while. I think I might have box jumps today at weights. I think when we do box jump, we try to be more explosive and land with like roughly strained legs, so we're not like doing the box jumps where see how high we can bring our legs up. But I'd say I'm pretty athletic. I think I have like a 9.7 broad jump.
Oh dang! Okay, that's nice.
So I'd say I'm one of the more athletic kids on my team.
Yeah. All right, 5 or 6 times longer than us. Good job. So knowing your broad jump sounds like you're fairly tuned into your dry land. What else do you do in the weight room?
Olympic lifts. We started doing like cleans this year, which I really like. To get your trap sore, which I don't know if I like that. Yeah. We do bench, deadlift. We do a lot of core work and then a lot of pulling with like bands and stuff, and medicine ball work.
Nice.
So sounds like Olympic lifts, somewhat of a new addition, transition in coach in the last year. Any other big reasons you can think of for these huge drops that you're having? Anything click biomechanically this past year or so that you think, or it's just been progressing?
I was just progressing. Like I had one coach for my freshman and sophomore year, and then I had an interim coach last year for like from February to September, and then we just had a new coach last year. So I think changing coaches was getting a little bit of everything from each one of them, which kind of helped me look at events different ways and swim different things. Collective.
When did you start lifting, and what was that like when you started? How old are you when you started lifting? Because it's a big thing about high schoolers, right? When if they should be lifting weights, when they should start, what kind of lifts? What was your case? How old were you, and what kind of stuff are you doing?
I started lifting like middle of freshman year. Okay. So I was like 15.
Yeah.
So what was the other part of the question?
What kind of stuff were you doing? Was it like body weights? Were you just learning exercises? Were you just going through the routines? Was simple movements? Or
it's roughly the same thing we do now.
Interesting. Okay.
Still like squats, deadlift, bench press, all those things. Nothing's really changed other than like cleans and some more new movements. But other than that, it's been pretty consistent. Just getting stronger.
There's a big difference, John, between we see high schoolers who don't lift at all until they go to college, and then there are high schoolers who are lifting.
Yeah, definitely. I do think weights is becoming more and more common earlier now across U.S. club teams and things like that, and starting to get more and more into these highly skilled or higher skilled lifts. So yeah, it's nice to see, and obviously can help out a ton when progress properly with good technique.
Yeah.
So you mentioned having some changes in coaching, and I think you had a real mature answer that you kind of gained some information or some beneficial parts from all the different coaches, right? Some other swimmers may really have a hard time with that and really struggle with changing coaches, especially you've had some really good coaches, right, that have come and moved on. So where does that mindset come from? And is that just your personality?
I think it's just my personality. I don't know. I'm pretty mellow with change. I kind of just go with the flow and see what I can do with the change. See what I can get out of it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be helpful in college switching coaches again. So
yeah.
Well, let's ask about that. And I don't need to know times, but are you the kind of person who sets goals? And what goals do you have for Worlds? What goals do you have for college? And it's not be times. It could be experiences or focus on X or Y or make this or do that. What goals do you have?
I don't really. The goals I set now are just more of like, I don't really set goal times unless it's like, I definitely wanted the nag. That was a goal time, but like I more want the experience and making teams and stuff. So in college, I more just see how I can place in NC2As and obviously maybe not freshman or sophomore year, but in the coming years, going for that 49.5 breaststroke record, or even the 200 breaststroke record.
Yeah.
Oh wait, not 200 breast. 146 is fast.
No,
hey, you never know, but yeah, that's a quick one.
Chance.
Julian's record is fast.
Yeah.
Cool.
For Worlds, I don't really have any things in mind. Definitely want to place high, and I've never been to like the only prelim semi-final meet was trials, and I never got to semi. So hopefully get into finals would be nice, but I've never had to swim 100 breast 3 times or really an event 3 times. So I'll have to pace that out.
And I mean, the US could have 2 rookies on their medley relay. I mean, you and Tommy are the top 2 qualifiers in those strokes. I mean, if you guys put it down, it's going to be a very whole new looking medley relay team. Are you excited for that? What it could be? Yeah,
I'm super excited. I'm really nervous though, because like that's a big stage, and kind of I feel like all the pressure's on you to not mess up. I feel like my relay start's pretty good. Definitely going to work on it this summer a lot. I think that's a requirement on the team, but I'm super excited and hopefully have a good split.
I just think you have to get a better celly than Tommy did, because Tommy's celly was pretty good. So if you can, you can work on that.
I got to think about what celly I need to do.
Exactly. You got to get out of the water though.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried like thinking about what celly I would do if I did win, but then in the moment you're like, I don't even know what to do. So you start doing random things.
Yeah, you'll have to teach us. Luke and I have never done a silly. I don't think that was a thing when we swam. Right? It was like look at the time and get out and shake hands, all that. So we talked a lot about in the water, and you said swimming is pretty much what you know. But how about out of the water? In Singapore, anything you're looking forward to out of the water? How about in Texas, going to college? What are some things you're excited to do out of the water coming up in these next few months?
Yeah, one of my biggest hobbies is photography. So I'm super excited to be able to bring my camera to Thailand and Singapore and hopefully take some pictures there. And then also in Austin, I think it's a big city, so there'll be a lot to photograph. But yeah, I'm super excited to do that and explore.
What kind of photos? Nature, people, buildings, portraits, what kind of stuff?
I've done really everything. I took 3 photography classes in high school, so they kind of make you do a bunch of stuff in those classes. So I've experimented with a bunch, but like when I started out, I was taking pictures of mostly cars. Yeah. Just like at car meets and stuff. So that was my main focus. But now with time and everything, it takes time to edit photos. So I rarely take photos now, but I think it's a good hobby to do when you're relaxing.
When I suspect Mike Lewis will be at training camp again for you guys, and Mike is a fantastic photographer underwater, especially. So definitely like hang around Mike and see what he does. He's brilliant at what he does. He's like a real artist. So yeah, you should enjoy him.
Yeah.
Do you know who he is, right? Have you seen his work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we have a new photographer this year at training camp. But I think I've looked at her photography recently and she's really good too.
All right.
Well, congrats. You are now the photography intern of Social Kick. Congratulations. That's the biggest news you've gotten in a while, I know.
Let's go.
So you're welcome.
Let me know when my first shoot is and I'll show up.
Absolutely.
All right. Training camp. There you go, man. All right, Campbell, we're going to finish up with some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
All right. What's the hardest race in swimming?
200 back long course.
Okay. Olympic gold or world record?
Olympic gold.
Do you pee in the pool?
Yes.
What's the most annoying thing a teammate can do?
Not try and practice.
That'll work well in Texas. All right. What race other than your own are you most excited to watch at Worlds?
Ooh. I don't even know. 100 free?
All right.
That'd be cool.
What's the hardest set you've ever done in a practice? Holy cow. I don't even know. I think
something that comes to mind.
I think I did
or a hard
7.
One, yeah.
I think I did 7 400 IABs in a practice.
No.
Yards, long course?
Short course meters. We train short course meters.
Okay.
Year round. So
were they on like short rest or all out?
They were pretty staggered. They were like, I did like a set of 3 and I set of 4, and they're on like 7-minute, I think. So I could make it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We used to do this test set. This is a different era. 3 1000s free, and I was a sprinter in high school. And the one thing that got me out of these, they were always off the block, and I was like, God, my goggles are gonna leak. Why do we have to do these off the block? Why don't we just start in the water? It's not like we're going fast on this.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Just a 0.5 faster.
Yeah, if that even. We were like falling in. I was like,
Yeah.
come on, goggles. Come on, foam goggles. You can make it. You can make it, foam goggles. All right. What's your favorite race you've ever watched live?
Oh, I liked the energy with Katie Ledecky's 800 free world record at Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, how about Summer? Almost getting it. You excited
I know.
for the 800 at Worlds if Summer does it?
Oh, wait. Maybe I changed my answer for the most exciting race at Worlds. I forgot about that. Yeah, that'll be
200
fun
fly
to watch.
could go down.
200 fly too.
I mean, you got to think about it. We talk about the hardest world record that's never going to get broken. The 201, 200 fly was like, yeah, nobody's going to come close to that. And now she's what, half a second away? It's ridiculous.
She wasn't even fully rested, wasn't she?
I don't know. I mean, she almost broke 5 world records.
Yeah.
Broke 3. Like, crazy.
Just casually. Just another weekend.
Speaking of hardest world records that may never be broken, one that we don't talk about because he's still, swimming is the 100 breast PD world record.
Yeah.
I mean, do we think that classifies as the hardest world record or one of the hardest world records?
Yeah. I mean, he's out. Yeah, it's 56 is crazy. 57 is even crazy. So I don't really know.
Yeah. What do you think, Luke? You think that's one of the hardest world records?
I mean, nobody's like, has anybody come within a second of that record?
I think Ken's like
and that
1
Ken?
point. Yeah, something from it.
So I think that's going to be.
And that's over 100. That's crazy. And that's going to live for a long time. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's definitely one of the newer ones that's on that list to go with the 2 fly women's and
it's not a Pearsall leg skin, which I mean, Pearsall could have gone on 151, but it's not like that era as well. Mm-hmm. It's a recent one.
Yeah. Dang. So there, enjoy that.
Maybe that's
enjoy
a goal.
being in that.
Maybe that's a goal.
That's a goal. Exactly.
Project 55. All right. All right. I don't want to know the answer to this because we already kind of talked about it, but how often do you social kick?
Never.
You just did it for an hour, at least.
You may be good, but you still have things to work on, Campbell. That's for sure.
Maybe I'll project it to my coach and say we should do some soon.
It's taper time, at least. Yeah, come on.
Now he's building back up, then tapering.
No,
probably.
when taper time comes.
Yeah, maybe I'll social kick at training camp.
There you go. Exactly. Get to know the national teamers a little more. I think that's a good plan.
Yeah.
All right, Campbell. Well, it was a pleasure. Congrats again on an awesome nationals. That was so fun to watch and really great to see. We wish you the best of luck moving forward, and thanks for joining us here today.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, of course. All right, well, that's this episode of Social Kick. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review and rate us, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed this episode of Social Kick and you'd like to see more, subscribe to the channel. And we love talking swimming, and we'd love to talk about swimming with you. So leave us a comment, and we'll see you next time.